My beloved child, there is a trembling shift in the unseen right now, and Archangel Michael has stepped forward with a message that carries the weight of destiny. The moment you opened this, something in the spiritual realm shook, because this is not an ordinary message. This is a divine intersection, a heavenly intervention, a final warning wrapped inside a miracle that has already begun unfolding over your health even before you realized it. Archangel Michael says, your health miracle just arrived, but this is your final warning. If you ignore this, your miracle will be taken back. Open this before it's too late. These words are not meant to frighten you. They are meant to awaken you. Because for too long, you have carried battles in your body and mind that were never meant to devour you. Battles that drain you in silence. Pain that followed you like a shadow. Symptoms that made you wonder if God had forgotten your name. But hear this now. Heaven has not forgotten you. Heaven had been preparing this moment for you. This message is not randomness, it is proof that you are still on the divine timeline. Still held, still chosen, still seen. Archangel Michael speaks of a health miracle, not a small shift, not a minor improvement, but a full-scale divine intervention entering your life. Something your body and spirit have been crying out for. Something that has been delayed because of spiritual interference, emotional weight, or fear that has been gripping your steps. But now the miracle has reached the edge of your atmosphere. A miracle that touches your energy. A miracle that touches your sleep. A miracle that touches your heart, your blood, your nerves, your breath. A miracle that restores what stress stole. A miracle that returns what years have drained. And yet, the warning remains. Archangel Michael says there is one thing that threatens this blessing: your tendency to ignore the signs. You have brushed off intuitive nudges. You have silenced the inner voice telling you to slow down, to rest, to release, to shift, to protect your spirit from draining people, draining environments, draining habits. Heaven can release a miracle, but you must receive it. You must align with it. You must acknowledge it. This is the part many miss, and this is the very thing Archangel Michael is confronting in you today. A blessing can hover over your life, ready to land, but if the heart is closed, if the mind is distracted, if the spirit is overwhelmed, the miracle cannot anchor. That is why he says this is your final warning. Not a threat, a revelation, a divine alert. A sacred caution that you are standing at a doorway and heaven will not keep it open forever. There is something in your life right now, a pattern, a person, a mindset, a weight, that is blocking the full arrival of your healing. Archangel Michael shows a vision of cords around your energy, cords that pull your strength backward every time you try to move forward. Cords that tighten whenever you begin to heal. Cords that whisper doubt when heaven is speaking life. These cords are being cut right now as this message enters your awareness. Because the moment truth is revealed, bondage cannot continue. But you must not return to the things that drained you. You must not normalize the pain you were never meant to carry. You must not call permanent what heaven has already labeled temporary. Your body has been signaling you. Your spirit has been warning you. Your dreams have been restless, showing you signs you didn't know how to interpret. And still, heaven kept sending guidance until finally, Archangel Michael stepped in himself. He says this is the last time heaven will nudge you before the miracle either anchors or withdraws. Because miracles operate on timing and your window is open right now. Feel this. Your body is entering a divine recalibration. Your spirit is entering a divine cleansing. Your energy is entering a divine reset. This message is part of the healing. Your awareness is part of the healing. Your willingness is part of the healing. Archangel Michael is standing beside you, not as a distant figure, but as your warrior, your shield, your guardian. He is touching the areas of your life that have felt fragile, unstable, vulnerable. He is touching the emotional scars that have shown up as physical symptoms. He is touching the internal storms that you have hidden behind a strong face. He is saying, your restoration has begun. But he is also saying, do not return to what broke you. Do not repeat what weakened you. Do not ignore what heaven is trying to repair, because this miracle is not temporary. It is not shallow. It is not surface level. It is deep, foundational healing, the kind that shifts your life into alignment with purpose, longevity, peace, and divine strength. But to hold this miracle, you must walk differently. You must speak differently. You must treat your body and spirit as sacred ground. This message is your activation, your turning point, your spiritual wake-up call. And now, the air around you is shifting. You may feel warmth, pressure, tingling, calmness, or even sudden emotions rising. That is Archangel Michael's presence. That is the confirmation. That is the sign that this message is not imagination, it is instruction directly from the higher realms. Heaven is closer than you realize. Your miracle is closer than you think. But the warning is real. Do not ignore this moment. Your healing wants to stay, but you must choose alignment over old patterns. If you're feeling this in your spirit, that means the miracle has begun. Stay here with me. What Archangel Michael reveals next will show you exactly what is being healed and what you must avoid so the miracle stays anchored. My dear one, the air around you is shifting even more intensely now, and Archangel Michael is urging you to lean in with your full attention. What you are experiencing at this very moment is not confusion, not coincidence, not a random stirring in your spirit. It is alignment. It is preparation. It is heaven placing you in the exact position needed for your health miracle to settle into your reality. You are not here by accident. You were led here, guided here, pulled here by a force greater than your circumstances, greater than your pain, and greater than the fears you've carried for far too long. Archangel Michael stands beside you, watching the movements of your spirit as you listen to these words. He knows the battles you fought in silence. He knows the days when your body felt heavy and uncooperative. He knows the nights when discomfort stole your peace, when your energy fell flat, when you woke up wondering if healing was even possible. But today, he speaks differently. Today, he speaks with authority because the miracle has already entered your field. The only question is whether you will embrace it or allow old patterns to weaken its roots. He shows a vision of your energy in layers. The outer layer is tired, bruised, stretched by stress, fatigue, emotional weight, disappointed expectations, unresolved fear. But underneath that, he reveals a glowing core that has not dimmed despite everything you have been through. That core is your divine spark. It is your original template, untouched by the pain of the world. It is the part of you that heaven is restoring right now. He says that your healing is not beginning from the outside. It is rising from within. It is awakening. It is resurfacing. It is reclaiming what hath been lost. But for this healing to take complete form, you must break one specific cycle, the cycle of self-neglect. The moments when you sensed your body speaking to you, and you pushed it aside. The moments when your intuition whispered warnings, and you silenced it out of habit. The moments when you felt the need to rest, to pause, to breathe, to step away, and you convinced yourself that pushing forward was the only option. Archangel Michael says these moments created small cracks in your spirit, and heaven is sealing those cracks now. But if you return to the old ways, the cracks reopen. A miracle weakens. A blessing struggles to take root. Heaven has sent you this warning not to scare you, but to protect you from repeating the very patterns that drain your health. Your body has been signaling you with subtle nudges, sudden fatigue, emotional heaviness, tension, digestive shifts, headaches, aches that come and go, moments when your breath feels shallow, moments when your peace feels scattered. These are not random. These are messages. Your body speaks the language of truth, and today Archangel Michael translates it for you. He says that your miracle is here, but the responsibility to protect it rests in your choices, your awareness, and your willingness to change what must be changed. You are stepping into a season where your health is shifting from instability to divine stability. But stability requires boundaries. It requires saying no when your spirit feels pulled. It requires honoring the signals instead of ignoring them. It requires choosing environments that feed your soul instead of environments that drain your strength. Archangel Michael shows a vision of you standing at a crossroads, one path glowing with golden light, the other foggy and unclear. He says your miracle sits on the golden path, waiting for you. But the foggy path represents old habits, old pressures, old emotional burdens that try to pull you back into cycles that hurt you. Heaven needs you to choose clearly now. Healing is not only about the removal of sickness or discomfort. Healing is the restoration of harmony, balance, clarity, and divine order in your life. It is the restructuring of your inner world so your outer world can reflect the miracle. Archangel Michael wants you to know that your body has suffered long enough under the weight of emotions that were never yours to carry. Someone placed burdens on you that your spirit was not designed to hold. Someone drained your energy without realizing how deeply it affected you. Someone's words cut into your confidence and created wounds that settled into your physical body. But today, the chains are being broken. You may feel warmth in your chest, tingling in your hands, pressure around your shoulders, or even the urge to exhale deeply. That is the release beginning. That is the miracle preparing to anchor. That is Archangel Michael placing protection over your life so your healing cannot be interrupted by the same forces that once weakened you. Heaven wants you to align your actions with the miracle you are receiving. And alignment begins with attention. Paying attention to what your spirit feels. Paying attention to what your intuition reveals. Paying attention to the habits that no longer serve your well-being. Paying attention to the environments that lower your energy. When you honor these things, you open the doorway wider for the healing to unfold. This message is a turning point. Decisions you make in this season will shape your physical and emotional restoration. Archangel Michael is asking you to be present, aware, intentional, and receptive. You have suffered enough. You have carried enough. You have endured enough. Now it is time to rise into the miracle prepared for you. Before we continue, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe so this divine message reaches others who need it. When you engage, you help spread the light and allow this mission to grow stronger. Your support keeps this spiritual work alive and helps more souls receive the guidance you are receiving right now. Now breathe, because what Archangel Michael reveals next will take this healing message even deeper. My precious soul, as you move deeper into this message, Archangel Michael stands even closer, his presence forming a shield around you. He says that what is unfolding in your life right now is the result of spiritual timing aligning with divine mercy. The miracle over your health is not merely approaching, it is already circulating through the unseen layers of your being. But before it manifests fully in the physical world, you must understand what has been happening behind the scenes of your life. There are forces that tried to interrupt your healing, distractions that attempted to scatter your focus, and emotional weights that clouded your clarity. Archangel Michael reveals that every time you felt yourself losing control of your energy, every time you felt weakness in your body or heaviness in your spirit, it was not failure. It was interference. And heaven has come to put an end to it. He shows a vision of threads attached to your body, thin but strong, pulling your strength in different directions. These threads represent obligations that were never meant to consume you, emotional labor you should never have carried, and fears planted in your mind by circumstances that left scars. Some of these threads have been with you for years, some for months, some even for days. But together, they created an internal tension that weakened your physical vitality. Archangel Michael says that this tension is the root of the heaviness you have been feeling. It is not your fault. It is the residue of spiritual pressure, emotional exhaustion, and unconscious patterns that were never meant to remain in your life. But now, he lifts his sword, and with each word you hear, he cuts away a thread. One thread of fear, one thread of exhaustion, one thread of emotional weight, one thread of silent suffering, one thread of self-doubt. You may feel a release, a shift, a lightening in your body as this message enters you. That is not imagination. That is the spiritual surgery taking place. Heaven is removing what weakened you so the miracle can finally settle into your body. Archangel Michael says your health miracle is not a singular moment but a sequence of transformations. It begins in your energy, then moves to your emotions, then into your physical body, restoring systems, calming inflammation, stabilizing patterns, strengthening immunity, and clearing out residue that has been stored for far too long. You may notice changes soon: clearer breath, steadier thoughts, deeper sleep, increased strength, or a sense of calm that flows through you unexpectedly. These are signs that your miracle has begun taking shape. But he reminds you of the warning again. This miracle is delicate in its early stages, like a seed planted in fertile soil. If it is nurtured, it grows strong. If it is neglected, it withers. Heaven is giving you the miracle, but you must create the environment for it to thrive. Do not return to the places that drained you. Do not reopen the doors that heaven has closed. Do not allow old triggers to pull you back into emotional spaces that weaken your spirit. You are being elevated. A miracle is lifting you. Do not lower yourself to what once harmed you. Archangel Michael reveals that part of your healing requires releasing one specific memory that has lived inside your body for too long. He does not show the memory directly, but he shows the impact: tension held in the shoulders, restlessness in the mind, heaviness in the chest, and a lingering fear of being overwhelmed again. This memory has been speaking through your physical symptoms. But today, heaven begins erasing its hold. You are not your past. You are not your trauma. You are not your mistakes. You are not the pain that shaped you. You are the soul heaven chose to heal, protect, and restore. He wants you to understand that healing is not a linear journey. It is an awakening. It is remembering who you were before life tried to bury your light. It is reclaiming the strength you thought you had lost. He says your body is wiser than you realize, and it has been waiting for this spiritual permission to heal. Now that permission has been granted, your cells are responding. Your spirit is responding. Your mind is responding. Everything within you is shifting toward restoration. With this restoration comes responsibility. Archangel Michael instructs you to guard your peace as if it were sacred gold, to guard your rest as if it were a divine assignment, to guard your focus as if your life depended on it. Because in truth, your miracle does depend on it. You are entering a new phase where your healing becomes visible, tangible, undeniable. But visibility attracts resistance, which is why heaven has placed stronger protection around you. If you feel warmth, tingling, waves of emotion, or a sudden quiet within your spirit right now, this is confirmation that the angelic realm is working. These are the signs that you are aligned with the message meant only for those chosen to receive this healing. Heaven does not speak in coincidence. Heaven speaks in timing, and this is your divine timing. Before we move forward, Archangel Michael whispers a final reminder for this moment. Do not underestimate what is happening to you right now. This is not simply a message. It is a spiritual recalibration, a turning point, a divine activation of the healing that belongs to you. Type "I receive the mystery" in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Lesson code 441 is now active over your life. As this revelation settles into your heart, remember that every time a message like this reaches a soul in need, heaven celebrates another victory. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not helping a channel. You are helping God send light into the lives of those who are quietly breaking. You become part of the harvest, part of the oil poured over weary spirits, part of the river of healing that flows through these messages. The scripture that says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you," is not a quote today. It is God whispering directly into your moment of obedience. I ask you now, as one chosen to receive this miracle, to step into this divine action. Your giving becomes a prophetic seed that opens new doors over your own life. To those who sow, I declare restoration, replenishment, and divine multiplication. Release your offering with authority and watch heaven answer with speed. Before you scroll, hold on. What Archangel Michael reveals next will open the deeper layers of your miracle. Beloved one, as Archangel Michael steps deeper into your atmosphere, he reveals that your healing is not only unfolding but accelerating. There is a divine urgency in his tone, not of fear, but of importance, because heaven wants you to understand the magnitude of what is happening within you. This is not small, not subtle, not something that will fade away tomorrow. What is shifting in your spirit right now is the kind of transformation that marks a before and after in a person's life. You will look back at this moment and realize that this was the point where everything turned, where the decline stopped, where restoration began, where your body responded to divine authority rather than the weight of your past. Archangel Michael reveals that your body has been trapped between two realities for a long time: the reality of your divine health, already written in heaven, and the reality of the emotional and spiritual pressures that have been affecting your physical state. He shows an image of a doorway where you are standing exactly in the center. One side is the old version of you, weary, stretched thin, carrying pain as if it were a daily companion. The other side is the renewed you, glowing, restored, strengthened, held by divine protection. He says you have been lingering in this doorway for years, taking steps forward and then being pulled back by old memories, old fears, old patterns, and old wounds. But now, heaven is closing the door behind you, pushing you into healing whether you feel ready or not, because heaven knows what your spirit has been crying out for. He says that part of your miracle involves correcting the imbalance between your mind and your body. For too long, your thoughts have been louder than your intuition. You learned to operate under stress because you felt you had no choice. You learned to push through exhaustion because the world demanded it of you. You learned to silence your emotional pain because you believed others depended on your strength. But every time you suppressed your truth, your body absorbed the pressure. Every time you ignored your deep need for rest, your body paid the price. Every time you carried burdens that were never meant to be yours, your spirit bent under the weight. Archangel Michael says that heaven cannot allow you to continue living this way because your purpose is too important. Your presence matters more than you realize. Your life touches others in ways you may not even see. And because your impact is divine, your restoration must be divine as well. He begins revealing something sensitive, something sacred. He shows that one of the reasons your healing has taken time is because you have been carrying emotional wounds that were never properly healed. Someone spoke words over you that damaged your sense of worth. Someone neglected your emotional needs. Someone made you feel like you had to be stronger than you were ready to be. These unprocessed moments became physical tension stored in your bones, muscles, and nervous system. But today, he places his hand over your heart and releases a wave of light into you. This light is warm, steady, and deeply intentional. It moves through your emotional memory, detaching the pain from your identity, loosening the grip of past wounds, softening the internal battles that have echoed within you for years. Heaven says, you will no longer carry emotional pain in your body. Your spirit deserves freedom. Your mind deserves clarity. Your heart deserves peace. And your body deserves restoration. You may feel your breathing shift as you read this. You may feel the urge to exhale deeply. You may feel tears rise without knowing why. These are signs that the release is already happening. Archangel Michael says that your tears are not weakness. They are spiritual detox. When tears fall without reason, it is because heaven is cleaning wounds you did not know you still had. But he also reveals something powerful. Your miracle requires participation. Healing is not passive. It is a partnership between divine intervention and your willingness to let go of what no longer aligns with your high self. He says you must stop speaking negatively about your body. Words create spiritual agreements. When you say you are tired, your body obeys. When you say you are weak, your spirit echoes that belief. When you claim sickness with your tongue, you invite it deeper. But when you speak life, when you speak healing, when you speak renewal, you align yourself with heaven's will for your body. Archangel Michael instructs you to begin shifting your inner language. Speak strength even when you feel weary. Speak restoration even when symptoms appear. Speak vitality even when you do not yet see it manifesting. Because your body listens, your spirit listens, heaven listens, and miracles respond to declaration. He reveals that the next phase of your healing involves releasing the guilt you carry around taking time for yourself. He says someone taught you that caring for others is your duty, but caring for yourself is selfish. That teaching was false. It was not spiritual. It did not come from heaven. Heaven never asked you to destroy yourself to keep others comfortable. Heaven never asked you to sacrifice your health to maintain peace. Heaven never asked you to deplete your energy to preserve relationships that no longer honor your spirit. You cannot heal in environments that drain you. You cannot heal in relationships that exhaust you. You cannot heal while carrying burdens that suffocate you. Archangel Michael says your spirit is stepping into a higher frequency where you will no longer tolerate anything that damages your peace. Your body will begin rejecting what is not aligned. Your intuition will become sharper. Your emotional boundaries will strengthen. You will feel the shift not only within you but around you. People who once drained you will lose access to your energy. Situations that once overwhelmed you will lose their power. This is the shield of Archangel Michael forming around your spirit. As you continue listening, breathe, because the revelation that follows will show you what must be protected next so your miracle remains unshaken. Beloved heart, as Archangel Michael moves further into this revelation, his voice becomes steadier, deeper, almost commanding, because he is preparing you for a truth that many overlook when seeking healing. He says your miracle is not simply a gift. It is a restoration of divine order. Heaven is not patching you temporarily. Heaven is rebuilding you from the inside out. And to understand the fullness of this miracle, you must understand what your spirit has endured in silence. Archangel Michael shows a vision of you standing beneath a sky filled with weight. These are the pressures you have carried, expectations placed upon you by others, responsibilities you should never have held alone, emotional burdens that were passed to you because people saw your strength and assumed you had endless capacity. Your strength became your mask, your resilience became your shield, and your silence became the place where pain hid itself. Your body absorbed every unspoken emotion, every unexpressed frustration, every moment when you whispered to yourself that you were fine even when you were unraveling deep inside. These unprocessed emotions did not disappear. They settled into your physical form, creating heaviness, fatigue, tension, and cycles of discomfort that seemed to appear without explanation. But Archangel Michael says this: your body is not betraying you. Your body has been trying to protect you. It has been signaling what your voice did not know how to express. When your chest felt heavy, it was your heart asking to be heard. When your back felt burdened, it was the weight of responsibility pressing harder than your spirit could manage. When your energy dropped suddenly, it was heaven trying to slow you down before exhaustion harmed you further. Every signal was communication, not punishment. And now, as heaven intervenes, your body is finally being given permission to let go of what it has held for too long. Archangel Michael steps closer, placing symbolic hands over your shoulders, lifting spiritual weight from you. With each lift, a burden breaks, a memory softens, a fear quiets, a worry dissolves. You may feel lighter even now, as if the air around you is becoming gentler, because healing always begins with release. Nothing can be restored until what does not belong is removed. Today, heaven is removing. Heaven is clearing. Heaven is cleansing your emotional landscape so your physical landscape can finally stabilize. He reveals that another part of your healing involves reclaiming the authority you lost when life broke your confidence. Somewhere along your journey, you began doubting your intuition, second-guessing your decisions, questioning your worth, and believing that your needs came last. Each of these beliefs weakened your spiritual posture. When you shrink yourself, your energy shrinks with you. When your spirit shrinks, your body follows. But Archangel Michael is rising you back to your original stature. He says your identity hath been under attack because your purpose is greater than you realize. The enemy does not fight those who carry nothing. You were targeted because you carry light, wisdom, sensitivity, intuition, and spiritual power. These gifts threaten darkness, so the darkness targeted your health. But today, heaven lifts you above those attacks. You are rising. Your miracle is claiming space within you. Heaven wants you to know that the healing entering your life is not surface level. It is sacred. It is deep. It is permanent. He shows a vision of light spiraling through your body, entering the areas where tension once lived, restoring circulation, strengthening your nervous system, balancing your hormones, calming your heartbeat, grounding your breath, elevating your vitality. These shifts may not all appear at once, but they are beginning now. Every moment after this one, your body will start responding differently. Your fatigue will feel lighter. Your clarity will sharpen. Your sleep will deepen. Your immune system will strengthen. Your emotional stability will rise. These are the early signs of divine intervention. But Archangel Michael gives another warning with tenderness. He says your healing will require you to step away from environments that suffocate your spirit. There are places you used to tolerate that you will no longer be able to stand. There are conversations that once felt normal but will soon drain you instantly. There are people who may not realize they pull from your energy, but your spirit feels it deeply. Heaven will begin exposing these dynamics. You must listen. You must honor what your body tells you. Healing cannot exist in the same space as emotional contamination. Your miracle is too sacred to be placed in harmful soil. Heaven is teaching you to listen again. To your intuition. To your breath. To the soft whispers of your own soul. Archangel Michael says you will notice a new sensitivity rising in you. This is not weakness. It is spiritual intelligence. Sensitivity is the ability to feel what others overlook. It is the tool heaven uses to guide you away from danger and toward alignment. Pay attention to what makes your spirit dying. Pay attention to what makes your body relax. Pay attention to who brings peace into your atmosphere and who disrupts it. Your healing will flourish in the presence of peace. Heaven also reveals that your life force is being renewed. He shows an image of your energy field expanding, stretching beyond its old limits, becoming vibrant again. This expansion means you will no longer feel depleted by things that once overwhelmed you. Strength is returning. Endurance is returning. Balance is returning. You are moving out of survival mode and back into divine flow. The miracle is restoring the rhythm of your life. And yet, he says the greatest transformation is happening within your belief system. You are beginning to believe in healing again. You are beginning to trust yourself again. You are beginning to open your heart to divine intervention again. This openness invites heaven closer. The more you trust, the more you receive. Archangel Michael assures you that what is coming next will reveal exactly why the miracle arrived now and not earlier. Heaven waited for the moment when your spirit was ready to rise. That moment is now. Beloved soul, as this divine unfolding continues, Archangel Michael draws your attention to something crucial. The shift occurring within you is not only spiritual and emotional, but deeply cellular. He reveals that your body has reached a threshold where it can no longer return to the patterns that once harmed it. This is why your healing is becoming undeniable, and also why any form of self-neglect will now feel heavier than before. Heaven is restructuring you from the foundation, and when a foundation changes, everything built upon it must change as well. Your old life is incompatible with your new miracle. Your old habits cannot walk into your new strength. Your old self cannot carry the weight of your new blessing. Archangel Michael shows a vision of you standing at the center of a circle of light. This circle is not random. It is heaven's seal, placed around you to safeguard your health miracle. He says that for months, even years, your energy was scattered, moving in too many directions, influenced by people who took without giving, situations that drained without replenishing, environments that demanded more than your body could supply. But now, heaven is pulling all of your scattered pieces back into alignment. Your energy is returning to you. Your strength is returning to you. Your clarity is returning to you. Nothing and no one can pull from your spirit the way they once did, because you are being spiritually reinforced. Archangel Michael reveals another truth. Your body has been waiting for this restoration. Every ache, every imbalance, every moment of exhaustion was your body's cry for divine intervention, and heaven heard it. The spiritual realm never ignores the suffering of a chosen one. Even when you felt alone, heaven was planning this healing behind the scenes. And now that it has arrived, it must be protected with intention. He says there are two kinds of health battles, those caused by physical circumstances, and those caused by spiritual and emotional overload. You have been facing both. But today, heaven is dissolving the emotional burdens that amplified your physical symptoms. He shows layers peeling away from your spirit, layers of fear, guilt, suppressed pain, exhaustion from always being the strong one, and the silent pressure of feeling responsible for everyone's stability except your own. These layers once sat heavily on your chest and your mind, creating cycles of stress that impacted your body. Today, the peeling begins. The weight lifts. The healing deepens. Archangel Michael wants you to understand something powerful. You do not need to earn this miracle. You are not being tested to see whether you deserve it. Heaven does not operate on worthiness. Heaven operates on purpose. You are being healed because your purpose requires a stronger vessel, a clearer mind, a peaceful heart, and a body capable of carrying divine assignments. You are being restored because heaven refuses to let sickness or exhaustion diminish your destiny. In this next phase of your healing, Archangel Michael says you will begin feeling subtle shifts, moments where your breath flows easier, moments where your body feels lighter, moments where your intuition grows sharper, moments where fatigue begins to lose its grip on you. These moments are not coincidences. They are early manifestations of the miracle settling into your physical form. The healing has already passed the spiritual stage and is now entering your physical timeline. You are stepping into a renewed version of yourself, and the world around you will soon notice. But Archangel Michael offers a warning wrapped in love. He says the miracle is strong, but you must not feed the patterns that once weakened you. If you continue allowing your energy to be consumed by situations that break your peace, the miracle will struggle to anchor. If you continue pouring yourself into people who do not honor your presence, your body will feel the weight again. If you continue silencing your own needs out of habits built in survival mode, your spirit will resist the healing meant for you. This miracle requires cooperation. It requires intention. It requires boundaries. It requires choosing yourself without apology. He says that choosing yourself is not selfish. It is spiritual stewardship. When you honor your health, you honor heaven. When you protect your energy, you protect the miracle. When you listen to your intuition, you align with divine timing. Archangel Michael reveals that your spirit is becoming more sensitive because heaven is teaching you to notice early signs of misalignment. Sensitivity is not fragility. It is divine awareness. It is your spiritual compass, alerting you when something threatens your peace. As you continue receiving this healing, your sensitivity will guide you toward environments that nourish your miracle and away from those that sabotage it. Heaven is lifting you into a spiritual atmosphere where your health will no longer be shaped by stress. Instead, it will be shaped by clarity, peace, and divine intervention. You will feel this most strongly in moments of silence. When your surroundings quiet, you will notice the internal shift, your body recalibrating, your spirit rising, your mind clearing. This silence is sacred. Heaven speaks most loudly in stillness. Archangel Michael says to honor it. Before moving forward, take a moment to ensure others receive the same guidance that you are being blessed with. Like this message, comment your thoughts, share it with those who need healing, and subscribe so these divine revelations continue flowing into your life and into the lives of millions searching for hope. When you engage, you help expand a mission that heaven is using to reach souls in need. Your participation carries spiritual weight. Now breathe. For what Archangel Michael reveals next will show you the hidden reason your miracle arrived at this precise moment in your life, and why heaven chose now, not earlier, to release it. Beloved one, as this sacred journey deepens, Archangel Michael begins unveiling the reason your miracle could only arrive now. He says timing is one of heaven's greatest languages, and although you may have longed for healing earlier, your spirit was not yet in the position to sustain it. Heaven does not release miracles into instability. Heaven waits until the soil of your life is ready, until the roots of your spirit can hold the blessing without breaking. And now, finally, that moment has come. Archangel Michael reveals that there were seasons in your past when releasing a health miracle over you would have overwhelmed you rather than liberated you. He shows a vision of you standing in earlier chapters of your life, surrounded by emotional storms, people who drained your energy, responsibilities that were heavier than your body could carry, and circumstances that demanded survival rather than growth. In those seasons, your body was too exhausted, your spirit too burdened, and your environment too chaotic to receive the miracle fully. If heaven had healed you then, the healing would have been swallowed by the same cycles that created the sickness or imbalance. But now, your spirit has reached a point of readiness. You may not feel it, but heaven sees it clearly. You are stronger than you were. You are more awakened than you were. You are more spiritually aligned than you were. And because of this, the miracle has permission to land. Heaven is strategic. Heaven moves when the atmosphere supports the blessing. And at this moment, the atmosphere around your life is shifting in your favor. Archangel Michael says this is not random. This shift began when you started questioning your life on a deeper level, when you began releasing people who drained you, when you began acknowledging your limits instead of denying them, when you began noticing your intuition instead of ignoring it. Every small internal change created space for the miracle, and now the space is wide enough for heaven to place something permanent inside you. Archangel Michael speaks about endurance, and he says something powerful. You endured more than you realize. The battles you faced did not only test your body, they tested your faith, your emotional resilience, your tolerance for pain, and your willingness to keep going even when you had every reason to give up. Many people do not survive the kind of internal battles you fought. What you did, and heaven honors that. The miracle arriving now is not a reward for suffering, but heaven's way of lifting you out of the suffering for good. You were never meant to carry the weight that life placed on you. And now, you will not carry it anymore. Archangel Michael reveals that the miracle coming into your life is layered. It is not only healing your physical form, but also correcting the internal patterns that once weakened it. For years, you lived in a state of hyper-awareness, constantly anticipating problems, constantly scanning your surroundings for emotional threats, constantly bracing yourself for disappointment or conflict. This kind of internal tension drains the body more than most people understand. It keeps the nervous system activated, it interrupts sleep, it restricts breathing, and it creates physical symptoms that mimic illness. But now, as this divine healing unfolds, heaven is calming your nervous system. The parts of your body that once lived in survival mode are entering rest. And as rest enters, restoration follows. Heaven shows another image, a river flowing freely after being blocked by a wall for years. This river represents your life force. It represents vitality, clarity, emotional stability, physical strength, and spiritual alignment. The wall that once blocked your flow was made up of grief, betrayal, exhaustion, disappointment, and fear. But Archangel Michael says the wall has cracked. The water is beginning to move again. Your energy is returning. Your hope is returning. Your joy is returning. And soon, the river will flow so strongly that nothing will be able to block it again. He wants you to understand that healing is not always loud. Sometimes healing is quiet. Sometimes it feels like relief. Sometimes it feels like clarity. Sometimes it feels like a soft release of tension you've carried for years. Sometimes it feels like waking up one morning and realizing something inside you has shifted. Sometimes it feels like finding peace in places where fear used to live. These are signs that the miracle is not coming. It is already here. Heaven also reveals that the relationships in your life will begin changing as your healing strengthens. People who once took from your energy will no longer be comfortable around you. People who once drained you may drift away without explanation. People who once misunderstood your sensitivity will no longer have access to your spirit. This separation is not loss, it is protection. Archangel Michael says your miracle cannot grow in contaminated soil. Therefore, heaven will remove what threatens your healing. Do not cling to what heaven pulls away. Release is part of restoration. Heaven is also expanding your future. Archangel Michael shows you stepping into environments where your body will thrive, where your spirit will breathe, where your mind will be nourished. He shows opportunities opening for you that were once blocked because of your lack of energy or clarity. He shows connections entering your life that will support your growth rather than drain it. These changes are part of your miracle. Heaven is aligning everything around you so your healing becomes your new normal, not a temporary experience. Archangel Michael speaks gently now, reminding you that your journey is not ending, it is transforming. What once felt like endless struggle is becoming preparation. What once felt like pain is becoming wisdom. What once felt like limitation is becoming testimony. You are stepping out of what broke you and into what will build you. Heaven is not finished. The next revelation will expose the hidden spiritual forces that once resisted your healing and how Archangel Michael has defeated them on your behalf. Beloved one, as Archangel Michael advances into this next unveiling, his presence becomes sharper, more focused, more warrior-like. He stands before you not as a distant guardian but as the defender who hath been fighting unseen battles on your behalf long before you ever knew you needed protection. He says there is a truth you must hear now, for without understanding this part, you cannot fully comprehend the miracle that has arrived in your life. Healing, true, divine healing, never occurs without resistance. And the reason your breakthrough took so long is because there were forces actively working against it, hoping to distract you, weaken you, and cloud your discernment. Archangel Michael reveals that certain spiritual pressures were placed on you during vulnerable seasons when your emotional and physical defenses were low. These pressures did not come from anything you did wrong. They were attracted to your light. He says when a soul is marked for purpose, the enemy attempts to interfere with the vessel. And you, beloved, carry a light that threatened darkness long before you even recognized it. Your sensitivity, your intuition, your ability to feel deeply, your spiritual openness, these qualities made you a target, not because you are weak, but because you are powerful. Heaven shows a vision of you surrounded by shadows of confusion, discouragement, fear, and emotional heaviness. These shadows attempted to convince you that healing was impossible, that restoration was out of reach, that pain was your destiny. They tried to drain your faith by feeding your doubts. They tried to drain your strength by overwhelming your body. They tried to drain your peace by stirring emotional storms. But what they did not expect was the resilience of your spirit. Even in your lowest moments, you still held on. Even when you felt nothing, something inside you kept searching for light. That persistence became your spiritual shield. Archangel Michael lifts his sword in the vision and slices through these shadows one by one. He says they no longer have access to you. The interference has been broken. The spiritual pressure that once amplified your physical symptoms is dissolving. The heaviness that sat on your chest is lifting. The fog that clouded your mind is clearing. The anxiety that tightened your breath is loosening its grip. This is not imagination. It is spiritual release. Your body can finally respond to healing because the forces that resisted your restoration have been defeated. But he wants you to understand something even deeper. What you thought were physical symptoms were often spiritual battles manifesting in physical form. The sudden fatigue you felt with the energy of spiritual resistance pressing against your field. The tension in your shoulders and back was not only stress, it was spiritual weight. The moments when you felt emotional overwhelm without reason were moments when external forces attempted to influence your inner world. You were not too sensitive. You were spiritually aware. You were absorbing battles meant for someone with a lesser calling. But now, heaven steps in to promise you something. That season is over. Archangel Michael says the miracle arriving in your life is protected. No interference can steal it. No shadow can dim it. No energy can block it. He has placed a spiritual seal over your healing, and this seal ensures that your body, mind, and soul will not fall back into the same cycles that once harmed you. You may feel warmth in your chest, a subtle pressure around your head, or a calm spreading through your body even now. These sensations are confirmation that the protection is active. He reveals that your healing is not just physical, it is generational. You are breaking patterns of stress, fear, illness, emotional suppression, and spiritual disconnection that traveled through your lineage. You are ending cycles that others before you did not have the strength or awareness to confront. Heaven chose you because your spirit is the one capable of completing what others could not. The moment you heal, the generations after you heal as well. This is why the resistance was so intense, because the breakthrough is not only yours. It echoes through your bloodline. Archangel Michael now shifts his tone, softening with compassion and strength. He says the greatest lie the enemy told you was that you were alone in your suffering. You were never alone. Heaven stood beside you in every sleepless night. Heaven held you in every moment of fear. Heaven surrounded you during every emotional storm. And now that the resistance has been broken, heaven surrounds you even more fiercely with love, protection, and restoration. Heaven shows another image, you standing on a path with golden light stretching ahead. This path represents your new season. The shadows behind you cannot follow. The weight behind you cannot return. The sickness, the imbalance, the emotional heaviness, the spiritual interference, none of it has permission to cross into what comes next for you. Archangel Michael says your miracle has moved from the spiritual realm into the physical realm. It is active. It is alive. It is unfolding even now. Your only task is to stay aligned. Listen to your intuition. Honor your limits. Protect your peace. Choose environments that support your healing. You are not fragile. You are evolving. And as your spirit evolves, your body follows. The revelation that comes next will show you how heaven plans to rebuild your strength and elevate your life beyond the level you ever thought possible. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if your spirit feels this truth. Lesson code 992 is now released over you. As this word settles in your heart, remember this: every time you help this message reach another searching soul, you participate in the healing heaven is releasing into the world. When you sow through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a creator. You are sowing into a divine mission that rescues the weary and awakens the forgotten. Scripture says that when you give, the windows of heaven open. But today, hear it not as a verse but as God speaking directly to your moment of obedience. I invite you now to step into this sacred act with intention. Let your seed be a declaration that you stand with the light, that you stand with the work of heaven, that you stand with the calling placed upon this message. To every giver, I release a prophetic blessing of overflow, restoration, and accelerated breakthroughs. Move in faith and watch how heaven responds to your sacrifice with supernatural speed. Beloved soul, as Archangel Michael draws you into the next phase of this divine revelation, his voice becomes steadier, more grounded, carrying the weight of truth and the softness of deep compassion. He says you must now understand the rebuilding, what heaven is constructing within you now that the interference has been broken and the miracle has begun anchoring into your life. Healing is not only the removal of sickness or imbalance. Healing is the restoration of divine design. Heaven is returning you to the blueprint your soul carried before pain, stress, fear, and exhaustion rewrote parts of your story. Archangel Michael reveals that your health miracle involves a complete reordering of your inner world. He shows a vision of your spirit as a structure made of light, beautiful, detailed, intricate, but weakened in places where life placed too much weight. Some beams of this structure had bent under pressure. Some lights had dimmed. Some foundations had cracked but never collapsed because heaven held them in place. Now, he says, heaven is rebuilding every part of you that was strained, restoring every area that was dimmed, strengthening every weakness created through years of emotional and spiritual battles. He begins with your mind. For so long, your thoughts carried the burden of over-responsibility. You worried even when nothing was wrong. You anticipated danger even before it appeared. You created mental strategies for survival because life taught you to prepare for disappointment. Your mind lived in a state of hypervigilance, constantly scanning for what could go wrong. This mental posture created a silent tension that affected your sleep, your focus, your breathing, even your physical balance. But now, Archangel Michael extends his hand toward your mind, releasing a wave of divine clarity. This clarity begins dissolving the chaotic patterns that once governed your thinking. The noise that once filled your head is quieting. The inner shaking is calming. Your thoughts are beginning to move in harmony rather than conflict. This is the first sign of divine restoration. He then shifts to your emotions. Archangel Michael says your emotional body has endured more than you have ever admitted, not only to others, but to yourself. You carried heartbreak that no one comforted you through. You carried disappointment that no one apologized for. You carried responsibilities that no one thanked you for. You carried silent fear, silent exhaustion, silent sadness. Much of this emotional weight settled into your physical form, creating stress patterns that shaped your health more than you realized. But today, heaven declares that your emotional body is being renewed. The heaviness that once clung to your chest is loosening. The tension that lived in your stomach is releasing. The pressure behind your eyes, the fatigue behind your smile, the ache beneath your ribs, all of it is being lifted as heaven realigns you with peace. Archangel Michael now moves to your physical health, and he speaks with a tone of certainty. He says your body is more resilient than you have been led to believe. It has been fighting for you, not against you. Every symptom was your body's attempt to protect you, contain the damage, or slow you down so you could survive what your spirit was not yet ready to confront. But now that your spirit is awakening and your emotional world is being restored, your body can finally shift out of survival mode. He shows a vision of your cells responding to divine instruction, repairing, renewing, resetting. Systems that once felt unstable are recalibrating. Cycles that once felt disrupted are smoothing out. Strength is returning quietly, steadily, consistently. Heaven is rebuilding your endurance, not just physical endurance, but emotional and spiritual endurance as well. You will soon notice that situations that once strained you no longer have the same effect. Conversations that once overwhelmed you will lose their power. People who once pulled from your energy will feel distant, as if heaven has placed an invisible barrier between you and anything that threatens your healing. This is not isolation, it is protection. Archangel Michael says heaven is filtering your environment so your miracle is not contaminated by stress, negativity, or emotional chaos. He then reveals something that may surprise you. Part of your healing will come through rest, not effort. For years, you believed movement equaled progress. But heaven says stillness is where breakthroughs grow. Rest is not laziness. Rest is sacred alignment. When your body rests, your spirit recalibrates. When your mind rests, your emotions reassemble. When your soul rests, your miracle anchors. You are entering a season where rest will heal you more than action. Do not resist the stillness heaven invites you into. It is medicine. Archangel Michael also speaks of isolation, not the painful isolation you once felt, but the divine isolation that protects chosen souls during transformation. He says heaven has temporarily separated you from certain people, environments, and responsibilities so your healing cannot be interrupted. You may notice fewer distractions, fewer emotional demands, fewer external pressures. This is heaven preparing a safe chamber for your miracle to grow. You are not being abandoned. You are being surrounded. Then he speaks of identity. He says your sense of self is returning. You are remembering who you were before the world dimmed your light. You are remembering your purpose, your gifts, your intuition, your importance. You are becoming whole again, not the version of you shaped by pain, but the version heaven designed before pain ever touched you. He says the next stage of your miracle will involve the rebuilding of your external life. Opportunities, connections, environments, and divine alignments that support the new version of you. But before heaven brings those into your world, your internal transformation must complete itself. And beloved, you are closer than you think. Take a breath here. Let this message settle deeply. What comes next will reveal the long-term destiny of your healing and how it will transform not only your life, but the lives connected to your purpose. Hold on a moment. This is the point where everything starts accelerating, and you will want to hear what Archangel Michael says next. Beloved heart, Archangel Michael now takes you into one of the most important layers of your healing journey, the layer where transformation becomes visible, where inner shifts begin shaping your outer reality. He says that everything you have felt up to this point has been preparation, alignment, spiritual reconstruction. But now, the miracle begins to reveal itself in ways you can see, sense, and recognize. This is where heaven starts rearranging the physical world around you to match the restoration happening within you. Archangel Michael shows a vision of the ground beneath your feet glowing with new strength. This symbolizes stability, a solid foundation forming beneath your life after years of walking on emotional and spiritual uncertainty. For so long, you have lived as though the ground could shift at any moment. You have been bracing yourself for unexpected problems, sudden disappointments, and emotional shocks. Your body learned to stay tense, ready to react, ready to protect itself. But now, heaven is calming the ground beneath you. Your life is entering a season where security replaces fear, steadiness replaces chaos, and inner peace replaces silent panic. Heaven shows another vision, a doorway opening in slow, deliberate motion. This doorway represents new opportunities preparing to enter your life, opportunities that were withheld until your spirit and body were strong enough to receive them. Archangel Michael says that in your past, blessings came, but slipped through your fingers because your energy was too low or your emotional world too overwhelmed to hold them. You were constantly in survival mode, unable to enjoy or sustain the good. But now, your miracle is restoring your capacity to receive. You will be able to hold the blessings that come. You will be ready for them. They will not slip away again. He also reveals that relationships will shift around you, not only through separation, but through alignment. People who support your growth, honor your boundaries, and respect your energy will be drawn toward you as your healing strengthens. People who drained you will lose their grip. This is not rejection. It is divine sorting. Heaven is removing anything that could sabotage the miracle or weaken your emotional stability. Archangel Michael says at this stage of healing, protecting your energy becomes just as important as nourishing it. Heaven is also adjusting the rhythm of your life. The pace you once lived, it was unsustainable, harsh on your nervous system, and destructive to your peace. You moved quickly because life demanded it. You pushed yourself beyond your natural capacity because others depended on you. You survived on adrenaline and emotional endurance. But that pace is no longer aligned with your miracle. Archangel Michael says you are entering a gentler rhythm, a pace where your body can breathe, where your mind can focus, where your spirit can be heard. In this calmer rhythm, you will get more done with less effort because you will no longer be moving from stress, but from alignment. Heaven is shifting your perception as well. Archangel Michael says you will begin seeing yourself differently. Where you once saw weakness, you will see sensitivity as wisdom. Where you once saw exhaustion, you will see evidence of resilience. Where you once saw defeat, you will see divine preparation. You are awakening to your true identity, not the identity shaped by pain or circumstance, but the identity heaven intended from the beginning. This renewed identity will guide your decisions, shape your relationships, influence your boundaries, and elevate your entire life. He also reveals that your intuition will sharpen dramatically in this next phase. You will sense things before they happen. You will feel the truth behind people's words. You will detect emotional shifts around you even before they are spoken. This is not paranoia. It is spiritual intelligence. Heaven is giving you foresight so you can move wisely, avoid unnecessary harm, and protect your miracle from hidden dangers. You will learn to trust this intuition, because it is not merely instinct. It is divine communication. As the miracle continues anchoring, Archangel Michael says your body will speak to you in new ways, not through pain or heaviness, but through signals of alignment. You may feel waves of warmth, bursts of clarity, moments of unexpected calm, or sudden releases of tension. These sensations are signs that your body is cooperating with the healing. Your systems are synchronizing. Your cells are responding. Your spirit is guiding your physical form back into balance. Heaven is not only healing what was broken, heaven is fortifying what remains. Heaven also reveals that your environment will begin to shift subtly. You may feel drawn to clean, reorganize, change routines, or refresh your living space. This is not random. It is your spirit preparing your physical surroundings to match your internal transformation. A healed spirit cannot live comfortably in stagnant environments. Archangel Michael says your home, your habits, and even your daily rituals will begin reflecting your new state of being. At this stage of your miracle, heaven invites you to participate in the spreading of light. When you share messages like this, when you speak life into others, when you uplift, when you encourage, you become a vessel of divine healing. And in giving, you receive more. In sharing, you strengthen your own miracle. Before we go deeper, take a moment to like this message, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs healing, and subscribe so you never miss what heaven wants to release into your life. Your engagement helps this ministry reach more souls who are silently crying out for restoration. Archangel Michael says the next revelation will expose why the timing of this miracle is not only divine but strategic for your future destiny. He invites you to prepare your heart, because the truth that follows will shift your understanding of your life's path forever. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now guides you into the deeper mystery of why your miracle had to arrive at this exact point in your life. He says that timing is never random in the spiritual realm. It is crafted with precision, intention, and divine foresight. Every delay, every frustration, every moment you felt forgotten was part of a higher orchestration that you could not see from within the storm. But now that you have stepped into clarity, heaven can reveal what was hidden. Archangel Michael shows a vision of a path twisting, ending, narrowing, widening, almost like a river adjusting its course through the landscape. He says your life has moved through many unexpected turns, not because you failed, but because heaven was rerouting you toward something greater than what you asked for. You prayed for healing, but heaven planned restoration. You prayed for relief, but heaven planned renewal. You prayed for strength to survive, but heaven planned transformation so you would never again have to live in survival mode. Heaven reveals that there was a season when your life was filled with noise, external noise, internal noise, emotional noise, and this noise created interference. Your spirit could not hear the guidance clearly. Your body was too burdened to receive healing. Your emotions were too entangled to embrace restoration. A miracle could not land in that environment. If it had arrived then, it would have been overshadowed, drained, or even reversed by the weight of unhealed emotions and unstable surroundings. Your miracle waited for silence, clarity, separation, and readiness. Archangel Michael says that in recent months you have been shifting, slowly, subtly, but meaningfully. You have outgrown certain relationships, even if you did not say it out loud. You have distanced yourself from environments that once felt familiar but no longer felt aligned. You have become more aware of your needs, your boundaries, your emotional limits. You have recognized your exhaustion not as weakness but as a message. You have begun valuing peace more than distraction. These changes were signs of your spiritual maturity rising. This growth signals to heaven that the time had come. Heaven waited for your spirit to reach this level of awareness because miracles require partnership. The miracle needed you awake, conscious, receptive, and willing to protect what heaven is giving you. And now that you are in this awakened state, your spirit and your body can finally cooperate with the healing. Archangel Michael says this alignment is the reason your miracle is unfolding so powerfully and so quickly. He reveals that this timing also protects your future. There are decisions you will be making soon, decisions that require strength, intuition, and emotional clarity. Without healing, these decisions would have been shaped by fear, fatigue, and old wounds. But with healing, they will be shaped by discernment, confidence, and divine alignment. Your miracle positions you for opportunities that are approaching your life now. Heaven needed your spirit restored so you would choose correctly, walk boldly, and receive fully. Archangel Michael shows another vision, a door with multiple locks clicking open one by one. Every lock represents an area of your life that healing will influence. The first is your physical health, strength returning, balance restoring, inflammation calming, energy rising. The second is emotional stability, less reactivity, more clarity, deeper peace. The third is intuition, an awakened ability to sense truth and avoid dissection. The fourth is purpose, your path clearing and your direction becoming unmistakable. The fifth is relationships, alignments strengthening and misalignments dissolving. The sixth is destiny, your life moving into its designed trajectory. He says you are entering a season where blessings will begin aligning themselves without your effort. The things you once chased will begin coming toward you. Opportunities that once felt distant will begin appearing with ease. This is not luck, it is divine order. When your spirit heals, your life rearranges itself around that healing. Your outer world becomes a reflection of your inner restoration. Heaven also highlights something important. The people connected to your future are being prepared for you at the same time that you are being prepared for them. There are individuals you have not met yet, people who will support your purpose, uplift your spirit, and walk alongside you in seasons of growth. These people could not come before because your heart was guarded, your energy was drained, or your intuition was clouded. But now, with healing anchoring into your life, those alignments can finally manifest. Archangel Michael says your destiny requires a different version of you, a healed version, a grounded version, a strengthened version. This is why the miracle arrives now, not earlier. This is why heaven held it until you could hold it. This is why timing was not delayed but perfected. Heaven now reveals something tender. You have been too hard on yourself. You have judged your healing pace, questioned your strength, doubted your resilience. But Archangel Michael says you have done far better than you know. Heaven sees the nights you endured. Heaven sees the moments you held yourself together. Heaven sees the quiet tears and silent prayers. Heaven sees the times you kept going even when your spirit felt empty. These moments were not unnoticed. They were the very moments that qualified you for this miracle. Heaven honors your endurance. Heaven honors your courage. Heaven honors your heart. And now, heaven rewards your perseverance with restoration. Archangel Michael ends this part with a message. What you will step into next will feel like divine confirmation. You will feel supported in ways you never felt supported before. You will feel guided in ways you once envied in others. And you will understand, without doubt, that your life is entering a new chapter guided by heaven itself. Now prepare yourself, beloved. What comes next is the culmination, the final unveiling of this miracle and the blessing heaven releases for those who receive it completely. Beloved soul, Archangel Michael now brings you into the final unveiling of this message, the moment where everything converges, everything aligns, everything becomes clear. He says this is not the end of your healing. This is the activation of a new life. You are stepping out of the wilderness of survival and into the landscape of divine restoration. This moment marks the completion of an old chapter and the birth of a new identity, one shaped by strength, guided by clarity, and protected by heaven's hand. Archangel Michael reveals that your miracle is not a single event. It is a full-circle transformation that will continue unfolding in waves. Just as dawn does not arrive in one flash of light, but rises slowly across the horizon. Your healing will continue expanding gently, steadily, beautifully. Each day you will feel shifts, subtle at times, profound at others, but always progressing toward wholeness. Each shows a vision of you standing in a field of golden light. The light touches your shoulder, your chest, your breath, your thoughts, your emotions. It moves through you like a warm current, clearing residue you did not even realize you carried. This golden field represents divine renewal. It is where heaven completes what it began. In this vision, Archangel Michael places his hand upon your back. The moment he touches you, a ripple of strength pours into your spirit. He says this strength is not temporary, it is permanent. It is the foundation of the life you are about to enter. Heaven reveals that your healing will now begin shaping your decisions. You will no longer choose from fear but from clarity. You will no longer tolerate chaos, disarray, or disrespect. You will no longer shrink yourself to maintain peace. You will no longer ignore your body's signals or sacrifice your well-being for others' comfort. This version of you is rooted in truth. This version of you is awakened, grounded, aligned with your divine design. Your miracle makes you wiser, not harder. It makes you softer in spirit but stronger in boundaries. It makes you more compassionate but less tolerant of imbalance. This, Archangel Michael says, is the true sign of spiritual maturity, the ability to live with love and truth without losing yourself in the process. Heaven also reveals that your purpose will sharpen now. There are gifts inside you, spiritual, emotional, intuitive, that were dimmed by exhaustion. With your healing activated, these gifts will rise to the surface. You will sense things before they happen. You will understand people more deeply. You will feel guided in decisions that once confused you. This guidance is not your imagination. It is heaven speaking through intuition. You are entering a season where you will walk with a confidence that does not come from knowledge, but from connection to divine wisdom. Archangel Michael says your path is widening. Doors that were once closed will open with surprising ease. Places where you once felt small will now feel natural. Opportunities you once believed were beyond your reach will now approach you without force. This shift is a sign that the spiritual realm is clearing your way. You have been walking uphill for so long that ease may feel unfamiliar, but you must allow it. Ease is not laziness, ease is the reward of alignment. Heaven also speaks of relationships. Your healing will attract new bonds, authentic, supportive, spiritually aligned connections that honor your growth. You will notice that people who are meant for your next chapter will understand you without explanation. They will resonate with your energy. They will uplift your spirit. They will not drain your strength. Archangel Michael says these divine connections are part of the miracle. You were never meant to walk your path alone. Heaven is bringing you people who match your frequency, not your wounds. And now he reveals something tender. Your story will become a light for others. Not through struggle, but through restoration. People will feel hope simply by being in your presence. They will sense healing flowing through you because you will carry heaven's imprint. Your journey become the testimony, not of suffering, but of survival. Not of fear, but of divine intervention. Not of brokenness, but of rebirth. Archangel Michael says this is your final confirmation. The miracle is yours. It will not be taken back. It will not be interrupted. It will not be reversed. Because you opened yourself, you listened, you received, and you aligned. Heaven honors your willingness. Heaven honors your endurance. Heaven honors your heart. Heaven now instructs Michael to seal this miracle over your life. He lifts his sword, touches the ground before you, and draws a circle of light around your spirit. This circle represents divine permanence. No interference can cross it. No darkness can penetrate it. No fear can dismantle it. You are protected, restored, and anchored in divine strength. And so Archangel Michael declares, your body is blessed. Your mind is blessed. Your emotions are blessed. Your spirit is blessed. Your path is blessed. Your future is blessed. You have stepped into the life heaven prepared for you. If your heart feels this truth, type "I receive my miracle" in the comments. Blessing code 1717 has now been released over your life. As we close this sacred revelation, hear this with the depth of your spirit. When you support this work through Super Thanks membership, with a PayPal link in the description, you become a carrier of light in a world drowning in silent suffering. You help heaven reach those who feel forgotten, those who are battling alone, those whose miracles are waiting for a message just like this. Scripture declares that those who sow into holy ground reap a harvest without measure, and today, let that verse live in you, breathing, moving, awakening. I now say to you in the first person, I invite you to stand with this mission, to help spread what heaven is pouring out. Your seed is not a donation. It is a prophetic act, a declaration that you align yourself with divine purpose. To every giver, I speak restoration, multiplication, and supernatural favor over your life. Release your offering with boldness, and watch how heaven moves in response.